Fields last year was that all of those individual parties, whether they're traders, food concessions, bars, toilets, whoever, they were actually invested and they wanted the festival to succeed. So they were prepared to help each other out or whatever. And I think that helped to add to such a lovely atmosphere.
Would you have been more cautious into running an event if you didn't know you had all those good contacts from the start?
I don't actually know that I would have done it, really, because it is such a huge thing to pull together. And especially because in our team, I don't know sort of how to describe us. I guess our team, kind of our family team.
Yeah.
I'm the only person that's ever organised an event before, so there wasn't anybody else to support me with their experience, kind of within our immediate team. So I couldn't just say to, I don't know, my sister-in-law, "Oh, Alice, you need to go down and just make sure the mojo's in the right place," because she wouldn't have a clue what I was talking about.
Yeah.
That's just an example, but it is such a big undertaking that actually I don't think I could have done it without knowing that I had the backup from all of those individual people anyway.
Cool. So you've decided you're going to put on a festival. What's the next step from there?
So we had to apply for a premises licence, which involves submitting an application form to the council. You then have to put some notices up on site telling the local people what you're intending. It has to be announced in the local paper. Then you go through some, I can't think what the term is, but it's a few weeks whereby people can make objections if necessary. So we had a couple of people raise objections, and then we had to go to a hearing with the council to explain what we were going to do and actually how we were going to combat any issues that these people had. And actually the people didn't bother to turn up to the hearing anyway, so I think the council were a bit like, oh, what's the point in making your objection then? So it was fine, and actually the council were very supportive, and they want more businesses in the area, and they want to obviously encourage people to visit. So I think I went on a personal licensing course, which is, so I've obviously hold a personal alcohol license because obviously you've got the sale of alcohol and things on site. So you have to have a designated premises supervisor who has to be a personal license holder, etc., etc. So that was our first step. So we got the license okayed, and in the meantime, I was kind of scoping out people who potentially I would like to have on the bill, and approaching them, seeing if they're free, and yeah, that was it. And then once we got the license okay, then we could go about actually starting to book these people and put the lineup together.
How did you find, as someone that's new to the scene, how did you find agents and such sort of embracing your idea? Was it warmly received, or did you have to some hurdles?
No, it was warmly received. I think so. Lauren Elena's agent is a lady called Lizzie Holdforth from CAA, and thankfully I'd worked with Lizzie previously, so I guess she had a little bit more confidence that I wasn't just some randomer turning up off the street and saying, "Oh yeah, can I book Lauren for a first festival?" Because I think they obviously do have to bear that in mind when they're taking bookings, because they've got the reputation of the artist to consider as well. So it is slightly taking a punt on whether it's a decent show or not. So I think that helped. Whether or not they would have agreed to it anyway, I don't know. But I think, they were keen. I mean, they were all very cautious and going, you do know that you're not going to make money in the first year, don't you? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. We know that, we know that. But on the whole, they've been, really encouraging.
Was it always the aim to have Lauren Elena as your headliner, or did you have to have backups? Or
no, I didn't really know a great deal about Lauren. I think she had actually been to C2C on one of the small stages a few years previously, but she wasn't really on my radar at all. And then I can't even remember who it was now that we were trying to get, and they couldn't come. And Lizzie kept saying, "What about Lauren Elena? Because she's really wants to come over next summer. What about Lauren?" I thought, not sure. And then then I had a proper listen to her, and I thought, actually, she ticks all of the boxes that we want. And I just thought, yes, this is meant to be. So we were very lucky that it all worked out.
So one thing I loved, I mean, I don't know if you saw it on Lauren's set especially. She was obviously aware she had a bit of a following over here, but I don't think she really got how much. So she smashed for a few songs. Then the opening of Ladies in the 90s piped up, and then you could see on her face she had a moment of realization that people not only knew a bit of the song, they knew the song word for word. In the crowd, it was really, really loud and really lovely to see. That must be really rewarding for you as the organizer to have helped create that memory for not only the fans but the artist as well.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I didn't see that because I wasn't able. No, I didn't see it when it happened. So it is an art. It's a gamble for the artist to come, especially to her first festival. She said that she'd done a first festival in the States a few weeks before. She said it was absolutely awful, and they swore they were never ever going to go back there because there wasn't enough room on the stage, and the artists weren't looked after, and just all of these little things, and they couldn't speak to the right people that they needed to speak to, and there wasn't a sound check, and blah blah blah. So it's a real gamble for them to actually do it as well. But she was great, and all of the artists were great. And she, in particular, she arrived on the bus at like 8 o'clock in the morning, bearing in mind she wasn't going on until 9 something in the evening. The tour bus arrived at 8 o'clock or whatever it was. And they did the sound check. She was just lovely, and she loved it. And she's been a great advocate, and all of her management team have been. And I think I am so relieved that it was such a great start for her tour as well, because I think her whole tour was just a fantastic success for her. And then she's gone on to do amazing things over in the States since then. So I'm just very pleased that we didn't let the side down.
So another sort of a coup for you last year was getting Jackson Mickelson over. Yeah. So that was his first UK appearance, and he came over just for this show. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. How does a conversation or something like that come about? Because he's since gone on to have, he was known then, but he's doing quite big things at the moment. Yeah.
So he is just brilliant. Absolutely love him. I hadn't heard of him, and I was talking to his manager, who also manages another artist, and we were not quite convinced on the other act, and I just happened to see at the bottom of Todd's email signature these other artists that he manages. So I just clicked on all of them, and I clicked on Jackson, and I thought, you are brilliant. He's so much fun, really upbeat, so yeah, that's where that came from, and he was really, really keen to come over. So it was a bit of a lucky strike.
That's a big gamble for someone to come over just for one show and then go back, isn't it? That's someone that's keen to really build their fan base over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
What worked for me from being there, from a scheduling point of view, is I think he came on just as the sun was starting to set, and the acts that
obviously that was planned.
Yeah. Earlier on in the day were good. Some insane acts, but he just changed the mood up. Now, you can say that was intentional if you want. Yeah,
I take full responsibility.
He properly turned it into an evening festival from there. And from there was a massive buzz, because although people might not know a lot of his songs, he came out and started line dancing with people. Yeah. He just came on with like 110% energy, and it completely changed the mood. I think that
also, and that is what differentiates a good artist from a great artist. And I'm not saying that the people before didn't do that, but he has been playing to huge audiences in the States, you know, much bigger than we would have over here.
Yeah.
So it's just it's learning that stagecraft and that having that energy and that engagement with the fans. And again, Lauren was brilliant with that. And you kind of, they go on and you're just like, right, okay, they're a professional. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's because they've been out there and they've been working and they've been doing it and they've been playing to these huge audiences and they've been fine tuning that stagecraft for such a long time. So yeah, he was brilliant and he is going to come back, thank goodness. So yeah, we love him. We're a big fan.
He tried to come back for C2C, didn't he? I saw he was on the lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. So that was a real shame. But no, we are glad he's gonna come back again. We're big fans.
Yeah. Good. Sometimes if you're looking for a festival lineup, you're not 100% sure if you want to go. If you see a name that like is guaranteed to give you like a bit of a party vibe, then I think that can definitely help.
Absolutely.
Flogging some tickets.
Well, I think it does. And actually, from the point of view of the customers at a festival, you don't want everybody. You know, a lot of country is very soporific and a bit slow, and it's still brilliant. But actually, if you're at a festival, you don't necessarily want to just sit there listening to slow songs all the time. You know, you want to have somebody that will inject a bit of buzz. But I think you have to then get the balance of those buzzy people and actually the slower, sort of more acoustic type artists, because they've all absolutely got their merits. But I think having somebody with that energy and sort of feel good factor is really important, especially for the type of festival that we're trying to get as well.
So how long did you sit there stressing over the scheduling and lineup of the festival?
A long time. We had a bit of a struggle because we had to have a particularly long gap between I think it was Holloway Road and Ward Thomas, just due to production issues really. And so that's why we went off to do the line dancing. But then also because we had to have such an extended gap, it kind of moved everything back a bit because we've got a curfew. Yeah. So we had to sort of start everything a bit earlier, and then you're trying to cut down the changeover time in between each act. But then actually you need the act to be on for a decent amount of time. And then we thought, oh God, we've got too many artists on the main stage, and it was fairly stressful, shall we say? But we got there in the end.
I suppose it works. The gap, obviously, people did the line dancer thing, but it's good for your exhibitors and food people as well. If there is a gap where people can step away without feeling like they miss anything on the main stage. Yeah,
and I think next year, and what we were planning for this year, is that we will actually have some more stuff going on, not necessarily at the same time as the main stage, but in the gaps, there will be the odd acoustic artist, and we are going to do some different songwriting things, which are going to be really, really fun and very kind of interactive. So actually, if there is somebody that you're not particularly bothered about on the main stage, you think, oh, I might just go and get a drink now, you can go and get your drink, you can have a wander around, there's still stuff to see and do. So it again, that's all part of the learning curve. And whilst it was fairly stressful getting them all in last year, actually it worked out really well. So perfect. Can't complain.
So you've got all your acts, you're going to have a festival, etc. Talk about marketing. How was that for you?
So we're very fortunate in that one of the directors is works for a big branding agency in London. So he took care of all the branding side of it and the visuals, and I think he's created a really, really strong brand. So we're very lucky in that respect. Again, it was slightly trial and error. We thought it was going to be a lot easier to sell tickets than it actually was, which is naivety, inexperience. But again, you've got to start somewhere, haven't you? And because country is still quite a niche genre. Obviously, there's the hardcore country music